this in the corner.
Nope. Good evening. My name is Mike Major,
I'm Kayla Crowley.
and we are the band directors here at McDonald Middle School. First of all, we'd like to thank you for your understanding and patience. When the water went out, everything flew out the door. And just to be honest and upfront with you guys, we are recording this because they don't want us here the whole day. And so we will be monitoring the comments. If you have any questions or concerns, put them in the comments. We will be on the comments today when things are going on. So welcome to the Beginner Band Parent Meeting. Let's get started. Okay. We are so excited about this year. It is going to be an incredible year. We have one of the biggest beginner bands we've had probably in like 4 or 5 years. The kids are already doing great. We've had a lot of fun. We are starting to learn how to do band in classes. And so it's been a really good first week, and we're really, really glad that they're in class and to have you as parents in our group. Like I said, my name is Mr. Major. I teach all the brass classes. I teach trumpet, French horn, trombone, euphonium, and tuba.
I'm Miss Crowley. I teach flute, oboe, bassoon, clarinet, and saxophone.
And then Miss Hall is our percussion teacher. She is based at North Mesquite High School, but she comes over every day to teach beginner percussion class during 8th period. I would like to start with talking about behavior. In band here, yes, that's okay. Where we go? There we go.
Sorry.
In band here at McDonald, our goal is not to make great musicians. Our goal is to make great humans. We want your students to leave McDonald being a young adult. We treat them like young adults in class. And so for that to happen, discipline in our class must come before instruction. We have classes of 40, 50, 60 kids at one time. And so they have to follow our procedures. They have to do what we ask them to. And so if we have an issue with the student, we're going to correct them. Now, we're not going to correct them mean. We will always correct in love first to get them going. We're trying to get them to be able to participate in class. And so that's just how we are. Hopefully we will learn some music. Hopefully they will also become a good musician. But honestly, our first goal is to make them young adults and good humans. We also tell all of their teachers, if they ever need help from us with their discipline, we will help them. I want them to act well in band. We want them to act well in English, math, athletics, wherever they are. So that is probably our number one goal for the students this year, is to become good humans. Okay. Now, a lot of that starts with communication. We want you to be informed. We want you to know we are here for you as parents. If you have an issue, please call us. Please send us a message. We teach every day from 7:20 in the morning till 4:40 p.m. with a little break for our prep period and a little break for lunch. Sometimes we even teach through lunch. We have before school and after school practice with 7th and 8th graders, but not with beginners. So we're pretty busy. So if you call us during the day, we're probably not going to answer the phone. We're probably out in the band hall working. If you send us an email, we look at our email at least twice a day. If you send us a message through IO, we're going to hit it up. We're going to look at it twice a day. The best way to get a hold of us is email, and we will get back to you. If we need to call you, we will, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Phone calls take a lot. It takes a lot of time, and usually it's really early in the morning when we call you or really late in the evening when we call you. But please don't hesitate to contact us. We will get back to you. It may take a day, but we will get back to you. I know you can't really scan these. In person you could, but on the thing you can't really scan those. But there's my phone number. That is to my office, not to the classroom. There's my email address. My full name is John Michael Major, so I go by J Major for my email. Miss Crowley's is in the middle. I'll let her tell you that number.
Yeah, that's also my phone for my office here as well. And I am here like he said, just in the morning, and then I kind of run around. Then we have 2 different woodwind classrooms, so we're kind of running all over the place all day. And then, like he said, my email is definitely the best way to reach me. It's kcrowley@mesquiteisd.org. And then the last one on there is Miss Hall for all of our percussion students. Her phone actually will go to North Mesquite High School, and she is going between 3 different campuses all day, every day. She teaches here, she teaches at Vanston, she teaches at North Mesquite. So she's constantly all day going back and forth between all 3 of those places. So email is probably best for her as well. It's rhall5@mesquiteisd.org. The 5 is very, very important.
And all of this can be found on the band website. There is at the very top of the page, there's a contact us page. All this is listed, phone numbers, email, everything you could ever need about it. So the other big email or the big change this year is the IO system. This is a new system. We piloted it last year, but didn't do a lot with it because it wasn't very functional, but it is functional now. They are working on it all the time. I send them a message about every day, 2 or 3 a day saying, hey, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. All teachers at McDonald will post through IO. Any handouts we give to the kids will post through IO. Any big announcements we have will post through there. The band app that we had you sign up for over the summer from Instrument Fittings is gone. They don't want us to use that. Remind is gone. They don't want us to use that. If you have a direct message that you need to get to us and you don't want to do email, you can do it through IO. There's a button at the top, looks like a little paper airplane. Click on that, type in Major, type in Crowley, type in Hall, it'll come to us. The best way to get to us through IO is through Miss Crowley or myself. Miss Hall is, like you said, she's all over the place, so she may not be able to check it quite yet. There's also an app you can get to get notifications. I got a notification this morning about the water being off through my IO. So it's a great thing to have. There is no direct messaging in the app yet. They have told me it is coming though. It's just slow getting there. We talked about that, handouts. We will also do a weekly email s'more newsletter on Sunday. It will be an IO. It will also go through your Skyward email. We are going to try to not blow you up during the week with all sorts of little things. If it can wait until Sunday at 3 o'clock, it can wait till Sunday at 3 o'clock. And you'll get a link and it has all the things on there that you need for the upcoming week. And there's also Spanish translation on there. So if you speak Spanish better than you English, fantastic. You can click that button. And again, it is Google Translate Spanish. So it's not great, but it works. And the handouts we do will have Spanish translation on them also. I just talked about that.
Okay, we'll talk about the band website. So anything that we ever do is always on the band website. So if you ever have a question, definitely start with that band website. It's really hard to remember. It's www.mcdonaldband.com. So that's all you got to do. You go to that website. It'll take you to a Google site, and always start there for your questions. We put the handouts on there, like he was just saying. Our contact information is also there if you missed that from earlier. Our calendar will be there. Any forms we give out, it will be there. The IO is linked there. The supplies are there as well. So if you are trying to order your student's instrument right now and you might be confused, go to mcdonaldband.com, click on supplies. It is super easy to do it from there. You want to take a second to
Yeah, I'll just show you.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works. Hopefully you're seeing this. If you go to the band website, mcdonaldband.com, I'll put my glasses on for a second. And if you go to incoming 6th graders and click there, scroll all the way to the bottom. Ellis County Music is one of our partner music stores. They will package everything up and send it to you. Music and Arts is also one of our partner music stores. You can click on the handout and there is a link in there you can get to and order it, and they will send it all to us. If you go to supplies over here, there's all the instrument supplies that you need to take care of. And it lives on there and it will stay there forever because it's a fantastic resource to have up.
Yeah, and in regards to doing your instrument stuff, if you're renting an instrument, which we highly recommend if you're not doing a school-owned instrument, that is where you do it. There are some supplies itself that you can get from Amazon, and all of those are linked there. Reed players, clarinet players, saxophone players, they can order those. They can get those through Amazon. They're cleaning stuff to clean out their instrument. They can get through Amazon. So, but instruments themselves, please do not look at those Amazon instruments. Please do not fall into that trap, because those instruments do not play very well, and they will break really, really, really easily. So it seems like it's a good deal, but it's really a ripoff. Those instruments from Music and Arts, Ellis County Music, will be quality, and that is a rent to own process. So eventually, if your student is still in band when they're in high school, they will own that instrument, and they will own a nice quality instrument that they can keep using for the rest of their time in band.
My son played on his beginner instrument all the way through high school. And another thing about Amazon instruments, if something breaks on their instrument, and something will break on every instrument. Just because they're beginners, it's going to happen. The music stores will fix them for free. A lot of times we can fix it, but the music stores will fix it for free. Amazon will not. You will have to purchase a brand new instrument. And there was a year we had a girl purchase like 4 different flutes because she kept purchasing from Amazon and they kept breaking. So, okay.
Yeah, social media. So another way we like to keep y'all posted on things is through social media. We have Facebook and Instagram. We don't really do X or Twitter very much at all. But we post a lot on those places. And we just like to show off, what we're doing in class. We post a lot of graphics about, upcoming events and things like that. There's one on there right now about tonight's cancellation. So that's just another way that we keep you updated. And we like to show off all the fun things and all the cool things that we're doing in class throughout the year.
All right, calendar on, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, we gave the students a calendar. It is posted on the band website. You go to mcdonaldband.com and then click calendar. There's a paper one that has Spanish and English on it. There's also a Google Calendar that you can subscribe to that you can add to your phone. Anytime we have handouts or like that, we will link it inside that calendar and it'll just show up and you can click it and get it. That is every event we have for the entire year. We work really hard to get everything scheduled because we know you're busy. We know your students are in activities other than band, and that's fantastic. I was a soccer player. Miss Crowley did yearbook.
We did volleyball.
So totally get it. We want them to be able to do everything. So the calendar's on there. If you have an issue, please just reach out to us. If you have something scheduled on that day, reach out to us. We'll figure it out what we can do to get both events taken care of because we want the kids to be able to do everything. It's posted in IO. It's going to be on the IO calendar. So all the major events will be put on the IO calendar too, so you can see it there. Google Classroom is mostly for the kids. That's where a lot of their work will be. They'll submit playing tests through there. They'll submit forms through there. Like our first form that's going to come out later tomorrow, I believe, is our t-shirt order form. And so that'll come out through Google Classroom. It will also come out on the S'more stuff. As a parent of a former high school student who loves Google Classroom, sign up for the parental notifications. It's fantastic. You get emails of everything that you need that's going on in your student's class, everything that they're missing, everything they've done. And that is just fantastic. And I want to point out this button. The to-do button is the best thing ever. You click that to-do button, it will show you everything the student has due and they need to take care of. So if you're ever wondering about, do they have anything in Google Classroom? Go to have them show you their Google Classroom, go to the to-do button, and it'll be right there listed for you.
Okay, practice. So practice once we get going. So as we are getting all of our supplies ready to go, which by the way, supplies they'll need to have in class on Friday. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But as we get those things in, we are going to start doing a lot more actual playing of their instruments. So if they've been coming home from school the last few days, they probably said, we haven't done instruments yet. We haven't done instruments yet. That is coming. It just takes some time to get them to that point. But once we get going with those instruments, they are going to be asked to practice every day in class. They're going to have some sort of practice assignment, and they're actually going to document that in their Avid folders this year. Avid folders are a big thing with our school. So if you haven't seen your students' Avid folder, I would ask them to see that because that's going to be somewhere that you can check for everything going on in all of their classes. But every day they're going to have some sort of assignment. It's never going to be crazy. We're never going to be like, go home and practice for 6 hours. No, it's never going to be crazy.
We don't do that.
We don't do that. No, it'll be something a little bit at a time just because it is so important for them to start building these muscles and building these skills. This is something totally new to them. These students have not played instruments before, or they haven't played these instruments before, and that's okay. So it's just a new skill to keep building on. So every day they will have something to practice. The band hall will be open. So if once they get going, parents, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally honest. You're going to hear some crazy, crazy sounds when we start. Okay. And just
Yes.
please trust the process. That's how it starts. If it sounds like something is dying in the room next to you, dying goose or something, I don't know. That's just part of the process, just part of the learning process. We promise eventually and soon, right? Sooner than you would think, you're gonna start hearing actual music, actual things. So just to be honest, just so you know what to expect, okay? But if you're like, man, we have a sleeping baby, like we cannot have that going on right now, students are always welcome to come in and practice in the band hall. That is totally fine. We just care that they practice. We don't care where they do it. So if they want to come in before school or after school, we're here until 4:30 every day. We start teaching here at 7:20 every day. So if almost every day, but
Yeah,
we're
almost every
here
day.
by 7:30 every day. If they want to come up here and get into a practice room, we have individual practice rooms. They are welcome to do that in the practice here. Parents, if you're like, I want them to practice, but we're not having that. That is totally and completely acceptable. And again, please trust the process, because we promise at the beginning it's going to sound interesting. It will eventually be beautiful, and you will hear some sounds going on near December, I would say. But just a heads up, that's just so you know
Yeah.
what to expect.
I had to practice in the garage because I was loud. Your students can tell you I'm a loud teacher. I talk a lot. I talk really loud. So I had to practice in the garage. So I completely understand.
We all start somewhere. All right, and so one thing that we will utilize to keep up with practicing throughout the year is every week we will have a practice log. Okay, so those practice logs they're basically your students' homework assignment, and it's the same exact thing every week. That will get going towards the end of the semester once we get started with practicing, but you'll know, we'll send out a thing saying when we send that home. But here's how it works. So every week, if they practice at least 90 minutes that week, they will earn a 100 on their practice log. Okay, so you can see the scale there. If they practice 0 to 14 minutes, that's not quite gonna cut it. If they practice 15 to 29, that's at least a 50. So we'll show you what that practice log looks like, but 90 minutes a week is the minimum for a 100 on a practice log. And here's what a practice log will look like. Now this is obviously a fake one, but this is just to show you what it looks like. So you fill in what the student will do is they'll fill in, okay, on this day I practiced 15 minutes. On this day I practiced 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. This day I had a day of rest and I relaxed. 50, sorry, I can't speak. 15 minutes, 15, whatever. They add up their minutes right here. Okay, very important that they add up their minutes. If they don't add up their minutes, then we will deduct some points because we don't want to do their adding for them.
Don't convert to hours. Don't put an hour and a half.
Yes.
Put 90 minutes.
90 minutes, because our brains are not that good when we're trying to grade.
Not in math. No.
Then they take it home to you, and this is your part, is you're going to sign right there to verify that they did practice that amount. And that's just a precaution thing that we have to take. We are always on the lookout for students that are forging that signature, and we catch that a lot. So please make sure that it is your signature there. And then they'll leave this part blank, and then we will fill in the grade right there. Every week they get that same paper bag. It'll be on a printed cardstock thing on a different color every semester. And then they'll do the next week, the next day. Every Wednesday is when that's due. So on Tuesday night, Mr. Major will probably post on their IO, I guess, through the IO, will say, hey, make sure you total up your minutes and get your practice log signed by your parent. Then on Wednesday, they come in, they bring it in. If they happen to be late one day and they need to turn it on Thursday, that is fine. We will still accept them late. We'll just take off 15 points. But if they practice they can get over 100.
Yeah.
If they practice for 115 minutes and they get 110, they still get a 95. So, and then if they turn it in 3 days late, if they turn it on Friday, then that'll be minus 30 points. Well, it's still better than 0. So totally fine. But however, we will not accept them the next week. It'll be too late by then. We can't accept practice logs at the next week.
You can't turn in a practice log for the whole 9 weeks at
Yeah,
the end.
same.
That's not acceptable.
Okay, private lessons. This is something that is really, really special that we get to do at our band program. Students received information on this in class yesterday. So if you haven't seen that packet, ask them about that because they got that home. But they are so important. Private lessons are a chance for your student to work with a professional teacher and musician on their instrument. So we have a professional flute player, professional trumpet player. They are awesome, awesome, awesome teachers, and they are available to work on with your student to give them some extra help. So for example, in our clarinet class, we have about 25 kids in that class. So we are really good about hearing every kid every day. However, we can't always give every kid an extended period of time every day just because we have a class of 26 people. So private lessons are a great resource there for students that, maybe want a little bit more of a challenge, or maybe students that feel like, hey, I need some extra help. Either way, like they are for absolutely every student, wherever they are in their learning journey in band. So what will happen is if they sign up for lessons, then a lesson teacher will come in every day during their class, or sometimes it's before and after school, but most of the time it'll be during their class once a week. And they will get to work with that student for half the class period, which is just awesome, awesome, awesome time. So if you are interested in your student doing that, what you'll need to do, they have a form that is in that packet that we sent out with them. Fill out that form. It'll have their contact information. It'll have your contact information. If you fill that out, then I will give your information to that lesson teacher, and then they will contact you and try to set up a time for them to have that lesson. They cannot begin lessons until they receive a reply from you. So just make sure that if you sign up for lessons and you're like, why haven't they started yet? Check your spam, check, they might text you, they might email you, whatever works for you, but check both of those things to see if there's a message there. And then lessons are $22 every lesson. And I know for $22 a week sounds like a lot, and I get it. But we have 3 ways that we can get that number of 22 to go down. The first one is a scholarship. We have an announcement going on.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, we have scholarships that are available to them. We have some money that we can allocate to certain students that apply for a scholarship. That is in that same packet I sent out. So if they want to do lessons and they want to get they don't want to pay the full $22, totally fine. Fill out that scholarship form. There is a part of that scholarship form that is for the parent to fill out, just briefly explaining your financial needs for the scholarship. And we want you to know that we don't mess with money stuff. On money stuff, that is going to stay strictly between us. We're not sharing that anywhere. We are not, that doesn't go anywhere but between us. We will read that. We just need that for our documentation with the district to show why we were able to scholarship somebody. So that is the parent answer. If you answer it in Spanish, that is totally fine. We can do Google Translate. But the parent answer, and then there's also a student answer on that part. They can also, sometimes a lesson teacher will allow them to buddy up. So if they have a friend that plays their same instrument in their same class, they both want to do lessons, a lot of teachers will let them do a buddy lesson and then split the cost. So then you're both paying 11 instead of 22. And then the other thing you can do is you can arrange to have lessons every other week instead of every week. So that way, once again, it's like $11 a lesson. Basically, it's 22, but every other week, just to get that cost to go down. So those are all options for you. If you're interested in any of that, let me know. Feel free to email me or Mr. Major. Either way is totally fine. Or on that form, you can write in like interested in partner lesson or interested in every other week lessons. Totally fine. That's also something that you can communicate with your lesson teacher. And we like to say this to view these lessons as an investment in your students' future. Students that take private lessons tend to accelerate faster than students that don't. That's just kind of how it works because they're getting the extra help. So it is so helpful. I can say from experience that private lessons really changed my life. Mr. Major, I know, can say the same thing. I don't know if you want to share your story.
Yeah, I was terrible trumpet player when I started. I was awful. And I started taking private lessons from Raymond Brandon, and it completely turned my life around. I became a good trumpet player and ended up doing this because I'm not good at anything else.
Yeah, and then later on, a lot of students are awarded scholarships to go to college, even if they don't major in music in college.
Yep.
Like just being able to play an instrument really, really well, students will be awarded scholarships in college, maybe even get their college paid for. There are more band scholarships than athletic scholarships that are offered to students. So you can think of it as, you're investing now and you'll get that reward maybe later on, but we just want to make sure you're aware of all the info on that.
Okay, let's talk about supplies. We will play every single day in class once we get fired up and going, but we will do that every day except for the day before Christmas and the last day of school. So if your student ever thinks, do I need to take my supplies today? Yes, they need to take their supplies today. If we're both gone, which is rare, I think it happened 2 or 3 days last year, we're not going to play because most subs don't know anything about band. But they're going to need their instruments, going to need to be in good working order. We are going to teach them how to do that. You've already gotten your instrument and your cleaning supplies. Everything else you need for band, we are going to order as a group and save us money. And it will be in what we call a binder fee. You're going to get a binder, you're going to get pencils, you're going to get all sorts of stuff. It says it'll be $15. It's going to be less than that. Right now it's at 14. I'm still trying to get it down a little bit much. That will be billed through the InTouch system of the school. And it'll be due by the end of September. We know the beginning of school is a crazy time. Instrument, clothes, shoes. We're pushing it to September, so you don't have to worry about it. We're also working on a fundraiser to help you pay for all of your fees so you don't even have to pay for it. Speaking of money, this is the thing I hate to talk about. If you need extra time for any kind of payments, please talk to me. Email me, call me. Don't send word with your student. Your student doesn't need to know about that. Just email me. We will get it worked out. I completely understand. I have 2 kids that have gone through school. One's a dancer and one was in band, so we had all the things. Just reach out. We'll do everything we can to help you. But we can't read their mind, and I'm not going to talk to a student about it because honestly, they just don't know. Right? Things you're going to have reed players. Clarinet, alto saxophone is $3 per reed. We talked about that earlier. Oboe, bassoon, it's $15 to read through the school. It's about $25 outside of the school. We supplement that a little bit because those are expensive. Band t-shirt orders are going to start happening this week, tomorrow, I believe. And they are $10. Parents, if you want a t-shirt, buy as many as you want. Solo piano fee is April. It's $20 to pay for a person to play an instrument. No, sorry, to play a piano while your student plays an instrument at a contest. That will make a lot more sense later. Band trips are completely optional. In December, we're going to go to Epic Waters, and we're going to play a contest, earn a big fat trophy, and then have fun. In May, we're going to go to Pinstack in Plano. We're going to earn a big fat trophy, and then we're going to go have fun. We'd love to have chaperones. Once the district gets all their chaperone procedures and processes in place, we'll reach out to you to go ahead and do your paperwork. We're a no cash school. If you need to pay with cash, they'll go to the front office and pay. If you want to swipe your card, you can go to the front office, swipe your card, they'll take a check. If you want to do it online, you go to the band website. There's a thing that says pay band fees online, and it'll take you to the InTouch system, and you use your login to get into that. Handbook and forms.
Okay, so they have 3 forms that they have that we've sent home with them. So the first one is the band handbook form. This is for every student. It is the band permission slip. Most students have turned that in. The biggest thing on that is to make sure your student is on the IO. If they're on the IO, and they're going to be good to go. If they're not, I'll send that back with them to make sure they're on the IO. They bring it back in, and it's good from there. Instrument use form. That is only for students who have school-owned instruments, and those students should know who they are. If you don't have an instrument at home, then they're probably a school-owned instrument person.
And
then
they're going to get that form next week. They
Right.
don't have it yet.
They don't have it yet, exactly. And then private lessons, we just sent out those forms. This is optional for every student. We talked about that, but if you're interested in that, great. The deadline is August 30th for all of these forms except instrument use. We'll probably have a little more
Correct.
time.
Yeah.
But August 30th on private lessons and the band handbook form.
And that's it. Like I said, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I've always wanted to do that.
Like and subscribe.
Don't like and subscribe. But you put that in there, I will answer it, or Miss Crowley, I will answer it. We will be monitoring this as it comes up and have it up while we're working, and we'll start answering things. If you are watching this and you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. Send us your student's name in an email, and we will give them a little extra credit. Okay. We were going to do a Google form, but so we wanted to kind of put it inside the video. So send myself or Miss Crowley an email, and we will get you, we'll put a little extra credit in their account. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
End.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not.